about 800 feet up from the river.
So we are standing on the top of Medicine Rock right now.
We're standing on the top of the face of Medicine Rock. Right. There's an Indian face there. There's an eye and a nose. Actually, these trees would be what would be the headdress of it. The burial grounds are from this area and all the way back onto the road, and then beyond the road are burial grounds.
I'll try to be brief time. I'm going to try to put it all together so we have our records down. But I'd like to give a brief overview of this subdivision. This land was originally started into development by the conveyance of meets and bounds lots. By meets and bounds, I mean that the surveyor would draw up a description and that was conveyed away to another party. There's no question that that was the wrong way to do things. That was in violation of the state and county standards. All good. If you private or public roads, as far as the standards of Mr. Who is going to meet the requirements of that plan. Private roads. We feel that this is a natural development for a private road. Now, the staff report, Mr. Beeman, he's not here tonight. I guess he's on vacation. I would like to be there too. But, I think he made a incorrect statement when he said that private roads are not allowed over 400 feet of accepted plan use development. And I think Mr. Strickland will agree to that. That is not the case. And in fact, in Section 6 of the subdivision ordinance, a modification to any subdivision standard is allowable if you meet certain criteria. Those criteria are the purpose of the ordinance is fulfilled, the interest of the public will be served, and modification will not be injurious to the use of surrounding property. As far as I'm concerned, in dealing with subdivisions, the prime importance of having a public road is to make it fit within a public road grid or system. And I submit in this case, the very opposite should hold true. This road dead end into timber ownership. So timber companies have access by private easement throughout the length of that road. There is no public access to the Select River anywhere throughout this subdivision. All the land is privately built, so there's no reason that the public has to get up to. The existing road to this subdivision is private. The public road is in fact not developed. You have to walk the public road. Joe Steer wants the existing road used rather than the county road right-of-way. The existing road is to the north of and away from Medicine Rock, so that will not be disturbed by the construction.
Where buried Indians speak.
How many generations?
Before landslide and after landslide, you can see how high this road is in comparison to how far it dropped after this fell 600 feet into and across the Select River. This is Medicine Rock in 63. Fishing Rock is there. This is Medicine Rock in 72. Fishing Rock's there. Those earthquake-type cracks that are over 18 feet deep run just like this, right across the top of Medicine Rock space. Now what we're showing is a map, tax map, that was given to us when we got the property. if you can see this or not, but this says road as used, and it comes into lot 10 down here. That would be down here on these maps. It comes through to the creek, and at that time an old centerline road takes off and goes down through the pasture, right there, and around the front of the house, and along the river's edge. On this map, right at the creek, another little dotted line takes off, and it goes up, and it has the same outline as this, and it says trail. And you can see where this trail drops down here. You can see where it drops down there over the top of Medicine Rock. And according to this tax lot map, the line between 8 and 9 is right there. This would be right like that, according to that survey. Fred Gertruda with the D9 Cat trying to widen this road out. Side of this major landslide and started to back up. He said he felt the machine tremble, and it could have been just a misfire of the motor. But for some reason, he turned all the way around and looked behind him, and it was a lucky thing that he did, because the mountain behind him was gone. The only thing he could see was straight down to the river. That tremble he felt was a landslide happening. This is Medicine Rock. This is Wishing Rock. Wishing Rock is separate from Medicine Rock. I have heard stories from our
The state of Oregon as an engineering geologist. As an engineering geologist, I've done a large number of landslide investigations and slope instability investigations. The existing road, when it was created, destabilized, reduced the stability of the hill slope it was cut into. Yes, so judging from interpretation of some aerial photos from the early 1970s, at a time when the road was being built or constructed or slope, by creating a road cut, there is very great potential for reactivating inactive landslides. And as far as the environmental impacts, there is the loss of soils, vegetation, and the potential impact on the river that needs to be considered, as well as the potential threat to your structure. You've asked me about the question of the road and its present stability and future improvement for providing two-lane access. Right now the road is a single-lane gravel road that when it was placed by excavating into the hill slope above the road, steepening that hill slope, and then side casting the material on the downslope side to create the road path. A road that had been brought up to double lane standards would require more area, which would require more cut and more fill. The existing gravel road obviously has created some instabilities, some loss of upslope areas, some landslides basically. And a widened road would even further aggravate the kind of instabilities that are there now.
Mrs. Fitzpatrick Ferran, Siletz Tribe, daughter of Faye Klamath, the original U.S. patented landowner of Government Lot 10, moved to Medicine Rock when she was 3 years old. This is Mrs. Ferran sharing her memories with us. Did your folks ever talk to you about how Medicine Rock got its name, or?
Well, they always called it Medicine Rock because they took the Indians there to be cured. They thought it was their medicine.
And you say that there were some men that came down from Detroit and dived?
Yeah, and they said looked like carvings, like hieroglyphics there on that little rock that's right at the foot of the...
Uh-huh. Well, now some say that Medicine Rock is just that little rock that's in the river.
It's supposed to be the big one.
Well, no, the burial grounds. You were talking to me at the last interview at the end that your brother had said something to you about burial grounds on Medicine Rock.
I'm sure he said it. I had to...
The bend of the river. Across the river from where our place is some other houses that are built on stilts. They are where the illegal landfill of 80,000 cubic yards was put there by some officials of the Lincoln Savings and Loan Bank through a corporation called Dollar Loan and Discount Corporation and with influence from the State Highway Department. 80,000 cubic yards of fill and a lot of tax dollars went in to fill that 7½ acre wetland over there. Now we got 80,000 cubic yards over there, and we've got a double active fault over here, and they want to do construction, which to seems to me a potential dam already here. Now those houses down there, there's kind of a little story about them too. CH2M Hill came out and did their study in 1977. Well, this landfill was put there in 1978, and so data to the computers of CH2M Hill do not include 80,000 cubic yards of fill that was put into this wetland illegally. We told CH2M Hill that this happened, and they just ignored it. Well, now all the data that is used is inaccurate because it has incomplete data in it. A backwater analysis is what is used to determine the height that these buildings that are built in the floodplain areas have to be above the 100-year floodplain and be legally built in a floodplain according to federal law. Well, without that 80,000 cubic yards, which we're talking 4 foot on one end and 60 feet on the other end, and 7½ acres, we've got a discrepancy in the 100-year floodplain of probably about 4 feet. Those houses are built on a backwater analysis that's inaccurate. Consequently, when the 100-year flood comes, those people are going to be flooded out. They'd like to have this whole mountain down on top of their boat someday. They'd like to have this whole mountain down on top of their boat someday. Could come.